So one of the reasons I'd kind of felt drawn to do this and like make a little bit of a video is I think a lot of the horse industry is focused on horses being led by us. And I'm just gonna move her off for a second. So I suppose that was an example of me choosing to lead a little bit there. And I think a lot of the horse industry is focused on leading horses rather than letting them lead. So it's just not giving that one side is either bad or good or even better than the other. It's just kind of providing a little bit of balance. We're focused on having them be led by us all the time. We can't focus on the other side where they're capable leaders sometimes too, and sometimes that's a benefit to us, as long as we're within boundaries and safety and all of those things, of course. That's kind of our foundation. But I think one of the reasons I'm so drawn to it, especially in this capacity, is with the horses, they can teach us so much about permissions and consent when we let them lead and have that voice. They can teach us so much about how and where we lack that voice within ourselves or in certain situations or environments or all sorts of things. So I think it's a really interesting one to play with. Just especially like with grooming and on the ground, and when you're just spending time with them, exploring that other polarity from leading them to letting them lead you. I sat here for a little while with them kind of in meditation rest mode, but she's still sleeping back there, but I was kind of drawn to do a little bit more and see if we could do a horse-led grooming session with her, just with my hands, just a little bit of bodywork grooming, and see if she wants to participate. So she's just hanging and napping, so I'm gonna wait till I feel from her. Sorry about the noise again. There's a good spot for me to enter her kind of energy field. And I'm already in it because I'm, 6 feet away from her, but I am most drawn to her hip. I'm gonna walk back here. Oh, she very much woke up at that. So I'm just gonna stand here for a minute. See if that was a good choice or a bad choice. And she relaxed back down and took the weight off that leg. And she moved and put me right at the back of this hip, kind of on the hamstring again. So I'm going to start grooming here. And she looked and acknowledged me. And definitely, as I begin scratching here, looking like she's enjoying it. She's definitely more awake. That's okay. We'll see if I can actually add to her experience rather than take away from her experience. Oh, and there we got a good spot. So just on the casket, giving me a good scratch, which I also happen to know is a favorite. But I'm just going to keep watching her and see how long the enjoyment remains. If she wants me to keep going, or if she wants me to stop. Or the other factor too, one arm might get tired doing this all by itself, but so I'm going to go a little lower. And go down the hock, all the way even down the cannon bone, and again to the foot, giving that cornet band a little massage. That's always a favorite of mine and theirs. And just keeping an eye on her, which she's thinking, how she's feeling. And sometimes too, if they stay kind of in one kind of like facial expression mode for a sec, I'll stop and see what her opinion is. If she does want me to keep going, if she doesn't, she stepped back over and put her butt closer to me. So I'm going to take that as a please keep going, and I will. So it's like just another way to facilitate relationship, because relationship should be that two-way communication. So if I can show her in these small moments that I'm observing her close enough to take note of what she's showing me with her body, and then choosing my action accordingly, that builds a different kind of relationship than it always being one-way communication the other way, where I say something with my body and then, or a cue or a tool or whatever it happens to be, and then she responds. It can become both ways. For me, it facilitates more trust in their reactions, and they trust us in our reactions too. Then they feel like there's an opportunity to actually say something and be heard. And I know in my body, in my own experience, how important it is to feel heard and to feel seen. Yeah, as she looks over. Oh boy. So I gave it a pretty good scratch again, and my fingers are a little tired, so I'm going to stop and let her check in. See what her body wants. If she's okay with being done there for a sec, or if she wants more. And again, there is construction over there, so it's really noisy. Sorry about that. I'll add in subtitles or whatever if you can't hear me in the video after. But so she's coming over. Hi. With the front end and putting me on her opposite side. So I'm going to follow that. And I'm going to just go on her neck. Exactly where she put me. And we're getting happy donkey face. Yeah. So it's kind of, it's like touch and body spatial relationship to facilitate kind of communication on a body somatic level, rather than calling this body work or calling it grooming. It's a little bit of horse-led grooming and it's a little bit of horse-led body work. So there she's a big yawn. And she's very much one that if I look at her, she needs to turn her head and kind of hide behind her own body to express that yawn. So I have the camera up, but I'm looking the other way so that she feels comfy. And then when she's done, she usually returns back to me. Oh, except she had another yawn. She came back too quick. Or she's extra comfy today, expressing that near me. So I'm just going to let her settle for a second. She came closer twice, so I'm going to go back to where I was, because that's where she put me, is at the shoulder again, and see if there's anything in there that she wants to let go of tension. So I'm just going to continue down the neck. And she's one, I'll see if I can put a photo in as well. Sorry, the noise. She's one as well that when she goes around, if she has holding tension, she's very much likes to brace the base of her neck here. So that's a super common area for her to hold tension and to ask to be released or helped with a little bit. So she released on that a little bit. And now she put her hip close to me and then backed up again as soon as I thought about the hip. So I'm just going to stand here and picture shoulder and see if that moves her at all. And then I'm going to picture going to the hip, just through my imagination, pretending. And she got more relaxed on hip, so that's where I'm going to go. And I also have the benefit of being able to change that choice, because we already did shoulder and neck. So my human brain wants to go to the back end now. So that's a little bit more interesting for me. So I'm just going to continue. Just kind of playing around, see what gets the best response from her, which she likes. And she moved forward, which to me usually says go further, kind of down and back. And then she backed up into me. So she said, can you move please? But I still need you on that same side. And she did. She stepped quite wide with her right hind to give me access to that inner. As soon as we got to the inner, we get the happy lip. Yeah. I'm just going inner gaskin, inner stifle, inner quad, all those fun areas. I'm just going to switch hands and do it from the front side of the stifle. It gives me a little bit better access and hopefully a little bit better video. She's got her head turned the whole way over there. And there's more. There's some more yawns. And she turns her head again to do the majority of her yawning. That feels good to me, so I'm going to stop and give her a moment to kind of finish those yawns. And then see if she's done or if she comes back closer to me for more. So I just thought I'd show, because it's so easy to see on him. Maybe it's not in the shadow, but where he's dirty, where I scratched him for all the horse-led grooming areas. You don't get the whole horse. You get very specific patches that they have requested. But some days that's okay too.